My name is Hannah Blake, and I learned my husband loved my Instagram more than he loved me the day he asked if he could postpone my miscarriage announcement until after his brand deal went live. We were in A&E. I was in a hospital gown, legs still numb from the spinal block, staring at the ceiling tiles that looked like stale crackers. He was in the visitor's chair, ring light in his backpack, phone in his hand, thumb hovering over an email from a supplement company that had offered him £3,000 to post 3 family man reels in the next month. Our baby was gone. His first thought was content. Welcome to Quiet Storm Stories, online edition, with the man who always calls you babe, and my rock turns out to mean my brand manager, not my partner. If you've ever dated someone whose life revolves around engagement stats and follow accounts, and you've had a quiet little voice ask, but what about us, off camera? This one's for you, because this is the story of how I married my favorite influencer, became one half of Goals Couple UK, and then realized the only thing he ever really loved about me was the way I looked in a thumbnail. I'm 28, live in Leeds, and work part-time as a primary school tar. Part-time because my full-time for the last 3 years has been unpaid. Co-star on my husband's YouTube channel. Liam is 31. He calls himself a content creator. When we met, he had a small but loyal following for his gym videos and day-in-the-life vlogs. When we got together, his numbers doubled. He jokes that I'm his secret sauce. He's not wrong. We met the normal way. Hinge. His profile said, 6'2", gym rat, dog dad. Looking for someone to build an empire with. I should have swiped left at empire. Instead, I thought, ambitious, nice arms, likes dogs. Swipe right. Our first date was in a cafe. He was charming, funny, asked good questions. He noticed my chip nail varnish and said, don't worry, we'll get you sorted with brand collab soon. I thought he was joking. He wasn't. 2 months in, he asked if I'd be in a vlog, just a little cameo, he said. People love seeing relationships. It humanizes you. And you're fit. Flattery does a lot of work when you're 25 and have never had a proper boyfriend. The video was meet my girlfriend, she's out of my league. It got 3 times his usual views. The comments were full of heart emojis and you two are adorable, we're magic, he said, watching the numbers climb. We could really do something with this. A year later, Liam Lives became LiamAndHan. Couples Q&As, morning routines. Our secret sauce to a happy relationship, no secrets. We moved in together. We got a French bulldog called Bruno. We filmed everything. Date nights. Workout sessions. She picks my outfits. I surprise her with a trip. The algorithm rewarded us. Followers went from 20k to 200,000 in 18 months. Brands started sniffing around. At first, it felt harmless, free protein bars, discount codes for leggings, a sponsored weekend away to the lakes in exchange for a romantic cabin vlog. My friends teased me. You like a Poundland Marley, May, one said. Next you'll be flogging fake tan, I laughed. Secretly thrilled that someone thought I was anything May. Liam worked harder than I'd ever seen anyone work at something not technically a job. Filming, editing, replying to comments, tracking analytics, pitching brands, we're building our future, he'd say at 1 a.m. Blue light on his face. Meanwhile, my tar job shrank. I dropped days to be available for content. This is our business, he said. You don't need to wipe snotty noses forever. He wasn't wrong that the school barely paid my petrol. He was wrong about everything else. The line between our relationship and our content blurred slowly. At first, he'd ask, hey, can we film this? Before we did something. Then it became, hang on, don't eat that yet. I need a shot. He started suggesting outfits the audience will love. Bright colors, tight tops. I didn't mind. It felt like playing dress up. He asked if we could have a little chat on camera after arguments. People love honesty, he'd say. We can show them how we resolve conflict. We'd fight about something small, him staying out till late, me not replying fast enough when I was at work. And before we'd actually resolved it, he'd have the camera set up, okay? So we had a bit of a tiff. He'd say to the lens, arm around me. But communication is key, right, babe? I'd smile, stiffly. Right, sometimes I'd watch those videos back and think, that girl looks happy. Sometimes I'd think, who is she? When we got engaged, He was filming. Of course he was filming. He propped his phone up on a rock in the Peak District, just taking a picture, babe, then turned around with a ring. The sunset was perfect. I cried, said yes. People clapped. The video made 1.2 million views on TikTok. Brand slid into his inbox. We're going to be huge, he said. This is it. This is our year. We're getting married. I said, yeah, he said. And think of the wedding content. We did a we're engaged Q&A, a wedding planning on a budget kind of video. A whole series on finding my dream dress that was mostly him filming me in changing rooms and saying things like, spin for us, babe. My mum cried at the first try-on. Not about the dresses. About the comments. People are so nice, she said, scrolling. Look at them saying they're invested in your love story. I smiled, embarrassed and weirdly proud. When the miscarriage happened, it was 12 weeks in. We hadn't announced yet. We'd filmed a telling our parents video, but hadn't uploaded it. I went to the bathroom one morning and there was blood. Lots. Cramping that doubled me over. We went to A&E. They did the scan. The sonographer's face changed. After, in the little room with the box of tissues, the doctor said, I'm so sorry. It looks like you're miscarrying. I heard myself ask practical questions. What happens now? Do I need surgery? When can I go home? Nurse mode. Liam sat there, white, silent, back on the ward, post-procedure, lying on that plastic mattress. He finally spoke. This is a lot, he said. We need to think about how we handle it. I know, I said. Tears finally coming. I can't go back to work like nothing happened. I mean online, he said. We've teased the big secret in our last few videos. People are expecting something. I stared at him. Our baby just died, I said. And you're worried about expectation management. He flinched. I'm worried about the brand, he said. We're in the middle of a deal with Vital Vites. They booked us as a growing young family. They want 3 reels over the next month. I felt sick. I'm not filming a vitamin ad from a hospital bed, I said. Obviously not from here, he said quickly. But maybe. We don't tell them. About the miscarriage. We can still shoot some couple stuff. Talk about preparing for the future. Keep it vague. You want to lie to them, I said. And to everyone else. He ran a hand through his perfectly curated hair. We can't just disappear, he said. The algorithm punishes you. Engagement will tank. The sponsorships will dry up. This is our income now. Han, we can't throw it away because something sad happened. Something sad, like I'd broken a nail. I looked at him properly, then at the way he kept glancing at his phone when it buzzed. At the faint tone of annoyance that my uterus had inconvenienced his posting schedule. What if I need to disappear? I asked. What if I can't bear the comments saying everything happens for a reason and God needed another angel from strangers who don't know my name unless it's in a thumbnail? He hesitated. You can take a break, he said. I'll say you're resting. I'll shoulder more content for a bit. But we can't stop entirely. People move on. Double quotes people. He met followers. I thought you said our followers were like family. I said bit early. He shrugged. Family get bored, he said. Look, I know this sounds harsh, but we've worked so hard to build this. We can't let grief wreck it. Your non wouldn't want that. He really brought my dead non into it. I turned my face to the wall and cried until the nurse changed my pillowcase. At home. In the weeks after, I tried to negotiate with myself. I filmed one we lost the baby video. It was raw. No makeup, just me talking to the camera in our living room while Liam adjusted the tripod. He cried on cue. Held my hand. Said, we'll get through this. The video got hundreds of thousands of views. Hundreds of comments. Some cruel. Most kind. I went through this too. Thank you for sharing. You're so strong. You're helping so many women. It felt both cathartic and exploitative. After we uploaded, Liam spun his chair around. The engagement is insane, he said. We've had 3 brands email saying they appreciate our honesty. One's a therapy app. They want to sponsor a healing journey series. I don't want a journey, I said. I want to lie on the couch and not exist. You can do that off camera, he said. I'll handle the talking for the next month. Our channel filled with him, supporting your partner through loss, what men don't talk about after miscarriage, healthy meal prep while grieving, every so often. He'd pan to me, curled up under a blanket, and say, she's doing okay. Guys, the comments would flood with, Give her a hug from us, in real life. He was out most evenings collaborating with other creators, going to events. Filming gym content, I have to capitalize while people are watching, he'd say when I accused him of leaving me alone. We can't waste this exposure, my. Han. As exposure. The only parts of me he wanted were the ones that made his engagement rate spike. The turning point wasn't some dramatic affair or screaming match. It was a Tuesday trip to Tesco. We were in the toiletries aisle. I picked up a box of tampons. He picked up a packet of razor heads. Ordinary, his phone buzzed. He glanced at it and grinned. Babe, he said. Big news. Vital Vites have extended the contract. 6 more months. They said our authentic handling of the miscarriage deepened audience trust. They literally used those words. He looked at me like he told me we'd won the lottery. They turned our dead baby into a KPI. I said. He frowned. Don't be like that, he said. We chose to share. It helped people. And it helped us. We're booked out for months now. This is what we worked for. I stared at the shelf of sanitary pads, the cartoon women jumping on trampolines on the packets. Did we work for this? I asked. Or did we work for a life together that happens to be on camera sometimes? Because it feels like the camera has eaten a life. He rolled his eyes. You're depressed, he said. That's understandable. But you're taking it out on the only thing that's going right. The only thing? I said. What about us? We are going right, he said. Look at the comments. People ship us. They say we're goals. Do you think we're goals? I asked. When was the last time you sat with me without thinking about angles? He shifted. This is just a tough patch, he said. Once we're back on track, once we have a successful rainbow baby story arc, a story arc, I repeated. Do you hear yourself? He flushed. I'm just saying, he said. We can turn this into something positive. Why would we waste suffering? I put the tampons in the trolley. I want to go home, I said. Yeah, he said. Good, we can film an update. People have been asking how you are. I mean home, I said. Not the flat. Home, without ring lights. He looked genuinely confused. I don't understand, he said. I know, I replied. That's the problem. Breaking up with a man whose space is also half your income is complicated. Half our bills were now under LiamAndHan Media Limited. He handled the AdSense, the brand transfer forms, the accountant. My actual job, the school. Hey, just enough for my share of the rent and food, if I left. He kept the channel, the sponsors, the audience, if he left. I kept the dog and the mugs. Friend said, can't you just dial it down? Make less content. They didn't understand that to him, there was no such thing as less. There was only growing or dying, in the end. The thing that tipped me wasn't logic. It was Bruno. One evening, Liam set up a shot where he pretended to cry into Bruno's fur, saying, dogs know when you're hurting, man. After he got the take, he set the dog down and went back to the camera. Bruno stayed by the tripod, looking between us. When I called him, he came to me, curled up at my feet, away from the light. I realized even the dog knew where the real life was. So I did something that scared me more than childbirth. I made a spreadsheet. Not of content, of my exit. How much to move into a small flat on my own, how many extra hours at school I'd need, what it would look like to not be Andon anymore. Once the numbers were there, the feelings had less grip. I told him on a Sunday, I'm leaving, I said. I'm moving out. I don't want to be part of the channel anymore. He laughed. Don't be daft, he said. You are the channel. Exactly, I said. And I'm not an asset to be leveraged. He sobered. We're not done here, he said. We have contracts. People rely on us. You can't just walk away because you're sad. I'm walking away because I'm an unpaid prop in my own grief, I said. And because the only time you touch me anymore is when there's a lens involved. He scoffed. You'll regret this, he said. You'll go back to wiping noses while I'm on billboards. I'd rather wipe actual snot than pretend tears, I said. I packed a suitcase, Bruno's bed, my laptop, and left. He filmed a we broke up video 3 days later. In it, he cried. Told his followers he'd tried everything. Said I needed time to heal. Asked them to respect our privacy while monetizing a mid-roll ad. I didn't watch it. Friends sent me screenshots. The comments were what you'd expect. She doesn't deserve you. Men can't win. Sending love. A few said, "We could see this coming." It was all content. Those were the only ones that felt like real people. I moved into a one-bed flat above a chippy. My school head teacher, bless her, bumped my hours up. "You're good with the kids," she said. "We'll find the budget." My mum came round with casserole and a quiet pride. "He looked good on camera," she said. "But he never once washed a dish without telling you to film it." She was right. Bruno snored on the sofa. No ring light ever pointed at him. The first evening alone, I sat in the silence and realized something terrifying. I could do whatever I wanted and no one would know. No one would comment. No one would like. No one would DM "You're so brave, hun X." Just me. It felt like stepping off a treadmill. For a while, I kept my Instagram private and posted nothing but photos of clouds. Then I started following creators who never showed their faces. People who baked, painted, shared their cats. No trauma dumps. No monetized tears. I discovered what the internet felt like without my own life in its mouth. A year later, Liam's channel popped into my recommended for the first time since he'd rebranded. New girlfriend, new dog. Saying things like sometimes people can't handle this life. And that's okay. I clicked on one video. He was doing a story time. The truth about my breakup. 3 months later, he said I'd never really supported the hustle that some people choose normal life over. Great nuss, that he wished her well, but would never DM for anyone again. He had a ring light and a white couch and 500k subscribers. I had 30 years to south. Who thought I was a hero because I could tie shoelaces? One-handed, I closed the tab. The biggest change wasn't that I'd left an influencer. It was that I no longer felt the urge to tell my story to strangers for approval. I'm telling it now, to you. Not because I need you to pick a side, but because if you're currently being told that your grief, your joy, your relationship are wasted if they're not shared, I want to offer a different equation. Your life is not content wasted. Content is life you can afford to spare. He got the following. I got my life back. In the end, those numbers are not even close. We were doing Monday morning news. Each child sharing one thing from their weekend. Went to Nonna's. Got new trainers. Watched the football. Spider-Man boy said. We went to the zoo, but my mum forgot to film it, so now she's sad cause it won't get views. The whole class nodded like this made sense. 8-year-olds. Thinking in clips. Later, in the staff room, I told my head teacher, she sighed, dunking a tea bag. It's the way of the world now, she said. But it does something to their heads, doesn't it? Always checking if they're interesting enough to be recorded. It does something to adults' heads too. Mine had finally started defrosting. About 6 months after I left, I got an email from a journalist. Subject line, feature on influencer burnout. Would you talk anonymously? My first reaction was, absolutely not. My second was, maybe. I could feel my old reflex stir. Tell the story, control the narrative, justify yourself. But I'd promised myself not to turn my life into content. I forwarded it to my therapist. She replied, do you want to help others? Or do you want validation? Only say yes for the first reason. I sat with that for a bit. In the end, I said no. Not because I was ashamed. Because my nervous system still flinched at the idea of my pain as a think piece. Instead, something smaller happened. And my cousin Ellie, who's 21 and permanently attached to her phone, came round one Sunday with McFlurries and questions. I've been seeing more of Liam on my feed again, she said, carefully. He's doing those real men cry vids. I said. She watched me. Some of my mates are dead jealous of his girlfriend, she went on. All the trips, the free clothes, I know what it was like for you, but it still looks shiny. That's the point, I said. It's supposed to. How do you know if you're falling for Liam? She asked. Like, early. The question landed heavy. How does he act when there's no camera on? I asked back. If no one was watching, would he still open the door, still listen, still show up? Or is the tenderness only ever there when there's an audience? She thought about one boy in particular. I could see it. Also, I added, what do his friends talk about? Money, followers, hustle, or how's your mum? You all right? That tells you who you're dating long term, she nodded. You're like the ghost of Christmas future, she said. You show us what happens if we ignore the vibes. Cheery, I said. But I'll take it. My relationship with my own online presence had to be rebuilt from scratch. For months, I stayed off Instagram entirely. No stories, no posts. My thumb would hover over the app, and I'd close my phone instead. I realized how much of my brain had been colonized by angles.sunset. Think vlog, not moment, meal. Think shot, not taste, joke. Think real, not laugh. Without that, life went quiet. At first, it was like coming off caffeine. Headaches, twitchiness, the sensation that if I didn't tell someone what I ate for breakfast, I might vanish. Then, gradually, it felt like being underwater in a good way, muffled, safe. When I did come back, I made a rule. No showing my face. No sharing anything in real time. No posting anything I hadn't sat on for at least 24 hours and still wanted to share for me, not for approval. My feed became clouds, plants, Bruno being an idiot, books I liked and exciting, utterly non-monetizable, delightful. A couple of old followers DM'd me, miss your couple content, one wrote. You two were my parasocial parents. We broke up in real life, I replied. You'll survive, another said. You could totally have your own channel. You're so relatable, I wrote back. I'm busy being a normal person, and muted the thread. Meanwhile, my little offline life grew. Work became more than just something I squeezed between filming. I started running an after-school club for kids who hated pay. We did dance, silly obstacle courses, anything that got them moving without whistles and humiliation. One day, one of the girls, anxious, bright, always hiding in the library, said, I like this better than watching things. I feel like I'm in my own show. It was such an innocent phrase, but it clicked with something my therapist had said. You're allowed to be the main character in your own life without broadcasting it. The kids acted out stories for each other every day in the playground. No likes, no comments, no brand deals. Just being seen by the 20-odd people in front of them. It was enough. Liam, inevitably, stayed in my peripheral vision. Friends sent me links sometimes, unasked. Have you seen this? He's doing a day in the life of a single dad series now with Bruno, and that new Labrador. Says he co-parents the Frenchie with you. That's not how co-parenting works, I'd reply, snorting. He went on a reality dating show, Knock Off. Did a podcast called The Truth Behind Couple Content, where he talked about toxic partners who didn't understand the grind. A small part of me burned. Still, of course it did, but the burn cooled faster every time. The thing that finally shifted it from hot to cold was an email from YouTube. Reminder. Your channel Han _ books has reached 100 subscribers. Consider applying to the partner program when you hit 1,000. I laughed so hard, I choked on my tea. My channel was 3 videos I'd uploaded purely for my class. Emmy reading picture books aloud during a COVID isolation week. No monetization. No thumbnails. Just, Miss Blake reads the Gruffalo if you're at home. The kids loved it. Their parents sent messages saying, thank you. This kept them sane. YouTube. Thought I might want to grow my brand. I hit delete. My worth wasn't going to be measured in subscriber milestones ever again. There was one conversation I knew I had to have and dreaded. With my mum, she'd loved the early days of the channel. Sent links to the aunties. Right to her bingo mates, my girls on YouTube. Like proper famous, the miscarriage and breakup broke that spell. One evening, over shepherd's pie at my parents', she sighed. I still don't understand how it went so wrong, she said. You look so happy. And it was nice. You're not worrying about money for once. There's a difference between not worrying about money and not being allowed to have thoughts that don't earn ad revenue. I said. She poked her match. I just want you settled, she said. Safe, not chasing thrills with camera boys or wasting yourself on this. She gestured vaguely around my life. The flat, the dog, the tar job. I'm not wasting myself, I said quietly. I'm finally using myself properly. For kids who actually exist in the room, not for strangers' entertainment, she huffed. You could still meet someone nice and post the odd video, she said. Doesn't have to be all or nothing. It does for me, I said. At least for now. I can't be half online. It eats everything. She looked at me, really looked. The way she hadn't when the ring was on my finger and the lights were on my face. You're, she admitted. Back then you were always on edge. Checking your phone. Laughing but not laughing. I thought it was 'cause you were excited. Maybe it was. Something else. Maybe, I said. She put her hand over mine. I like seeing you on the telly, she said. But I like hearing you in my kitchen more. That meant more than any blue tick ever had. A year after the miscarriage, I went back to the hospital for a GNA checkup. Same building. Same smell. Different ward. I sat in the waiting area, legs swinging, heart pounding in that irrational way your body remembers trauma faster than your mind. A young couple sat opposite. She was in leggings and an oversized hoodie, eyes red from crying. He was in a bomber jacket, phone out, thumb scrolling furiously. Babe, this account went from 10K to 50,000 off one post about their loss, he hissed. We should tell people. It's real. It'll resonate. She shook her head. Mute. I'm just saying, he pushed. We're sitting on content and you're hiding it. I heard myself in her. Him in him. I stood up, walked over, and, hard hammering, said, sorry to butt in. I overheard. You do not owe anyone your pain, he looked offended. She looked startled. I'm not trying to be rude, I added quickly. I just did the sharing miscarriage as content thing. The brands loved it. It nearly broke me. He opened his mouth. Oh my God, are you Han? He blurted. From LiamAndHan? I knew I recognized you. I wanted to sink into the linoleum. His girlfriend stared. You're her, she said. I watched your video. It helped. Also made me feel watched. That's fair, I said. I'm glad it helped. I'm sorry it made you feel like you had to do the same, she swallowed. He keeps saying we're missing an opportunity, she whispered. You're missing nothing, I said. If you share, do it because you want to, not because he sees graphs. And you can share just once, or never, or years from now. You don't know the algorithm, your uterus, he scoffed. Everyone shares, he said. It's normal, lots of people drink too much, I said. That's normal too. Doesn't make it healthy. She let out a weird little bark of a laugh. Thank you, she said. We need a minute. I went back to my chair. My hands were shaking, but my breathing had slowed. In that moment, I understood something. My story didn't have to live on YouTube to matter. It could exist in tiny, private interventions in waiting rooms, in conversations with cousins, in choices made quietly over cereal. If you've listened this far and you're caught in a life where every moment has to be optimized, where your partner or friends talk about wasting experiences if they're not filmed, here's what I want you to hold on to. You are allowed to have memories with no proof. You are allowed to grieve, celebrate, argue, make up, eat, nap, have sex, go for walks, sit in silence with zero digital footprint. You are allowed to say, when someone reaches for the phone in your worst moment, not this, not now, not for them. And if the person you're with can't understand why, if they roll their eyes and call you unsupportive, if they genuinely believe your value lies chiefly in your ability to help them go viral, you are not a bad partner for leaving. You are simply someone who has remembered that your life is not a product, it's the thing you get to live. One unrecorded breath at a time. It was my friend Tasha's hen do. We were in a slightly sticky club in Leeds. Neon lights, bad DJ, girls in sashes trying not to cry in the toilet. Tasha had given her phone to someone to film the surprise stripper. After 3 minutes of shaky footage, the stranger shoved it at me. Can you get this? She yelled over the music. My arms dead, my old reflex kicked in. I held the phone up, checked the angle, tried to keep Tasha in frame. Made sure the background looked fun. Then I caught my own reflection in the screen, puffy-eyed, concentrating. Not actually there. I lowered the phone. Tasha, mid-lap dance, caught my eye. Are you filming? She shouted. No, I shouted back. I'm watching. She whooped. Good, she said. I want you here, not my followers. She didn't even have followers, not like Liam did. Her Instagram was 20 pictures of her dog and some roast dinners. But she'd picked up the phrase anyway. Here, not my followers. It stuck. In the months since leaving Channel Life, I'd been quietly stripping out all the little ways it had rewired my brain, stopping mid-story to think, would this make a good post? Scripting my own emotions as if I were commentating on them, thinking of my face as something that needed to be on if anyone else was present. Now, in that club, I realized I'd spent so long being on for someone else that I'd forgotten how to be off for myself. So I made a tiny rule. If I was the one living the moment, I wouldn't be the one filming it. No more selfie videos on holidays. No more mid-cry update recordings. No more half experiencing my life because I might want to show it to strangers later. Did it sound small? It changed everything. The next weekend, I took Bruno for a walk on the moor. The sky did that ridiculous Yorkshire thing where it looks like a painting. My first thought was still, this would look amazing in a story. My second was, no one needs to see this but me and the dog. I inhaled. The air smelled like wet grass and fried food from the pub down the hill. I scratched Bruno's ear. He wagged. That was enough witness. Somewhere in all this, people started asking the question I'd been quietly dreading. Do you think you'll ever do content again? The people asking weren't only friends. Brands who'd worked with LiamAndHan reached out to me separately. We loved your authenticity, one wrote. We'd love to send you some products as a solo creator. I stared at the email. A younger version of me, still hungry for free stuff and noticedness, would have said yes in a heartbeat. This version of me asked, if I opened that door even a crack, can I trust myself not to step back onto the treadmill? Do I want an audience anymore? The honest answer was no. I did still want community, though. And that's different. Community came in sideways. One of the year to mum started a book swap Saturdays in a little park by my flat. Bring a book you're done with. Take one home. No money. No fuss. She roped me into running the kids' corner. I turned up the first week with a crate of old picture books and some coloured pens. 5 children showed up. The next week, 10. Then 15. We sat on blankets, reading, drawing, arguing about whether the Gruffalo could beat the Hulk in a fight. One mum said, my daughter was so excited all week. She said, we're going to Miss Blake's book club. Nobody took photos. No one live streamed. We just were. I realized afterwards that what I'd loved about making videos wasn't the numbers. It was telling stories and seeing people's faces light up. I could do that here. When nobody asked me to Monet eyes. Sometimes the universe gives you back the thing you lost. In better packaging, I did eventually end up in front of a camera again, but not for strangers. My aunt in Australia, who's never quite worked out time zones, kept missing our calls. We decided to send each other occasional video messages instead. Just for us, she said. Like letters, but with your face. I filmed her a 3-minute clip in my kitchen, hair in a messy bun, flour on my cheek from baking, telling her about a chaotic day at school and Bruno stealing a sausage. No cuts, no music, no thumbnail. She replied from her garden, parrots screeching in the background, telling me about her neighbour's weird new boyfriend. It felt human. Not content, just communication. It reminded me of something my therapist had said about mirrors. When you stand in front of a mirror alone, you're seeing yourself as you know yourself, she'd said. When you stand in front of a camera for an audience, you're seeing yourself as you hope strangers will approve of you. Those are two different people. I started trying to be in more mirrors. Fewer cameras, literally and metaphorically. At some point, I had to think about dating again. Not because you should after X months. Because I went to a friend's flat warming, met a guy called Sam who laughed at my joke about fronted adverbials teach you humour, and didn't once ask for my ad. We went for coffee. He asked normal questions. What do you do? What's your family like? Who's Bruno named after? When I said, Bruno Mars, he groaned. Terrible, he said. But I respect the commitment. I told him. On date 3, the edited I used to be with someone who filmed our whole life story. He blinked. You are a YouTuber. He said, that's wild. Wanna be? I corrected. Cautionary tale. He thought for a moment. That explains why you flinch when anyone points their phone at you, he said gently. I hadn't realized I did. Apparently, he noticed. I won't put you in anything without asking, he said. A few weeks later, at a friend's birthday, someone shouted, group selfie. Everyone piled into frame. I froze. Sam caught my eye. You okay? He murmured. I don't want to be tagged. I whispered. He nodded. You can take the picture, he suggested. I did. It felt safer. Being behind the lens by choice, not obligation. He never once took a photo of me without checking. When I finally let him, months in, it was because I wanted a memory, not a metric. That was the difference. I wish I could say my relationship with the internet is now perfectly zen. It's not. Sometimes I still get a little jolt when one of my old videos appears in a throwback couples compilation someone else has made. We Don't control everything we've ever posted. The digital footprints are out there, but the live feed that I control, I keep my profiles locked. I post late. I think of my future self, the one who might one day have a child, or a crisis, or a Borinter's day, and ask, would she thank me for sharing this? If the answer is anything but an easy yes, I hit delete. Every now and then, someone recognizes me. Not from LiamAndHan. From school, parents at parents' evening, oh, you're Miss Blake. My son talks about you all the time. He says you're funny and you make him feel safe when he's scared. Or a kid in Tesco who shouts, Miss, and runs over to show me their new trainers. No one asks for selfies. No one slides into my DMs asking for discount codes. They just see me in my messy bun and leggings. And that is enough. When you've spent years being seen by millions and still felt invisible. That shift is huge. If there is a part 3 moral, it's quieter than part 1's. You are allowed to go from public to private and stay there. We talk a lot about glow ups, level ups, scaling. We don't talk enough about scaling down on purpose. Here's what I've learned. Coming offline doesn't erase you. The people who matter will still find you. In supermarkets, schools, parks, kitchens, saying no to monetizing your pain doesn't waste it. It just means its usefulness is measured in how it softens you towards others. Not in mid-roll ads. You can still tell your story, in therapy, to a cousin, to a stranger in a hospital waiting room, without putting it on a platform. If you're sitting on both sides of a screen right now, torn between the part of you that wants to be seen and the part of you that is exhausted from performing, try this for 1 week. Don't film anything you're in. Film the rain, the cat, the way your tea swirls when you stir it. If you really need to post that. Then notice what happens to the rest of your life. Notice how often you catch yourself thinking, this would get views. Notice how many things you do that leave no trace and still happened. You're not antisocial or wasting your potential. If you choose anonymity after visibility, you're just someone who has learned the hard way that being real doesn't require proof. Your memories, your grief, your love, they exist whether or not anyone hits like. And if someone tries to tell you that your life is only worthwhile if it's shared, remember me, stood in an A and a cubicle, being asked to put my miscarriage on hold for a brand deal. Remember the Tesco aisle, the zoo kid, the book club in the park. Remember that the richest parts of your story will probably never trend. They'll just build you. And that's enough.